Son, and the Holy Spirit.
So The Conjuring 2 is directed by James Wan and stars Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, and is a sequel to easily one of my favorite movies of all time, The Conjuring. I am a huge fan of the first movie. Honestly, it says one of the scariest movies ever made, and that's so true. I mean, in 2014, we got so many good horror films, like Mama and Evil Dead, and that was just probably one of the best years for horror in, I can't even tell you how long, because this movie came out. And now, with The Witch already under us, here comes The Conjuring 2, the Enfield Poltergeist. So with The Witch already out of the way, and the darkness, we now have the next horror film out in theaters, which is The Conjuring 2, the Enfield Poltergeist. And if you don't know, I'm a huge fan of James Wan. I mean, the dude can direct sequels. He can do his own thing for the first time. Slasher films. Demonic possession. Action movies, and even produce a spin-off. People are currently comparing this to also 2016's The Witch. Mainly because, The Forest, The Boy, and The Darkness were the other three horror films to come out this year in wide theaters. I know The Witch didn't come out, but that doesn't matter. Irrelevant. But The Witch and The Conjuring 2 are, with no doubt, the two dominant horror films so far this year. Sadly, I do have to say The Witch has The Conjuring 2 by just a little bit, but The Conjuring is easily one of the best horror sequels I've ever seen. There are a ton of horror sequels that do work, but they're hard to come across. And from the very start of this movie, I was pleasantly surprised to find out that it is just non-stop jump scare horror fest. And James Wan is honestly the only person that knows how to do jump scares anymore. Because usually now jump scares are they're looking into a dark hallway and a book behind them falls and makes a loud noise and everyone jumps and that's not a jump scare. That's a cheap scare. But James, the dude knows how to scare people. I got non-stop chills just because of If you see this movie, you will understand what I'm talking about. This is one of the most unique horror films I've ever seen. The Witch is a better movie overall, but The Conjuring 2 is the scariest movie so far this year. The main conduit in The Conjuring 2 is Madison Wolfe. This chick's freaky, and I think another one of the demons, named, I think it's Bob Wilkins, possesses her and takes the form of her voice. With no doubt in my mind, that is the scariest part, because it's not like it's cheesy. It's not like there's just like this demonic voice coming out of a little girl. No, it is this purely chilling voice coming out of a possessed girl. Conjuring 2, compared to the first Conjuring, it does not even come close. The first Conjuring was a huge surprise, made a ton of money, but this one's just going to fall short. It made $40 million on its first weekend, while I think the first Conjuring made like a lot more. Anyways, the cinematography in this movie is pretty much like in the first one. They had the cinematography was there in the third act, and it was great. But the cinematography in the third act of the first one is the entire movie of the second one. It's pretty much eye candy for any film lover. The lighting is perfect in every scene. The score is almost the same, which is exactly how you should have it with a sequel. And the cinematography just tops it off. Acting from the other child actors, the mom, and even just tag-alongs are perfect. There is not one performance that made me go, wow, you suck. The main comedic relief in the first movie, Shannon Cook, was probably in this movie for one scene and he didn't have one line. If you're going to bring back a small part, at least give them their time in the spotlight. Which is my biggest issue with this sequel. It brings in characters and makes them, it builds them up. Like they do scary things and then just boom, they're gone. The audiences get distracted with the demons, the yellow eyes, the scary voice, and just the possessions in general. But I caught it. Sometimes there'd be like a missing kid or another kid, and I'd be really confused because I don't know if it's a neighbor, a cousin, a ghost investigator, a demon. I don't know. Sometimes it's very difficult to keep characters relevant, but if you can't keep a character at all relevant, just take them out of the script. Just delete them. The climax of this movie, you could say it's pretty disappointing because it just has this huge, amazing build-up, and then just kind of ends with the, oh, I'm gonna run in here with a cross type of thing. And no, it's not like they run in and just spray holy water everywhere. They actually, like, put up a cross to this demon and try to help the family without the cliche holy water BS. Albeit, The Conjuring 2 does not come close to the modern classic, The Conjuring, but it comes damn close, and closer than 90% of horror sequels. Insidious Chapter 2 wasn't able to capture the lightning in the bottle of the first Insidious. Nightmare on Elm Street 2, same thing. Saw 2, same thing. Halloween 2, exact same thing. They all fall under the same category of crappy horror sequels that were not needed. But the sequel to the 2014 classic is totally necessary. It holds a 75% certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, which is only a little bit less than the first Conjuring with, I think, like an 81. Overall, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are still the amazing pair, and they put in a bit of Elvis, which I just loved. Mom and the daughter remind me of Reagan and her mom in The Exorcist. This movie falls really close to The Exorcist in horror-wise. Even the two brothers, they do their best at trying to get this demon out of their sister's mouth. It sounded really gross. Even if there are just these weird characters in there, like there's one just completely CGI demon that isn't really explained, then there's the old guy, Mr. Wilkins, and then the nun. They all come together, and they're actually a very good trio. They all come together in a unique way. No found footage, amazing cinematography, even better lighting, tops off this pitch-perfect sequel. So to keep this one short, even though it's going to be really long, I'm going to give The Conjuring 2, the Enfield Poltergeist, an A-. I know I said The Witch was better than The Conjuring 2, but I gave them the same rating, but my rating system is more complex than you'd think. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm not sure if I really want to see Now You See Me 2 or Warcraft. They just don't at all interest me. But I did get to see this one, and I'm very happy that I did. So maybe there will be a Conjuring 3. Crossing my fingers, but thank you guys for watching.